Today we're working on an 820-3476 that has no backlight, and this is a very odd issue compared to usual. So what is it that you're getting? What do you notice? Let's see if we can... Oh god. Actually, can you explain how the hell this started? Because that looks disgusting.
The claim was that water damage ripped the LVDS connector off the board.
Yeah, so liquid damage ripped the LCD, so that there was no LCD connector when you opened this.
No LCD connector and 2 traces missing.
Okay, because that always happens with water damage.
Oh, yeah.
The LCD connector melts off the board. Okay, so what have you done so far?
Now replace the LCD connector and replace 2 traces.
Okay, so that's for display port. Let's see if I can make that show up. So, F3. So what you've done so far is run a wire for... Can you put it right by where that wire was?
Where's the screen?
Oh, wrong microscope. I have to put yours in there. Video capture. Yeah, so that's going to be this little transistor, no, not transistor, resistor over here for display port, R8313. So that was missing. So now you're getting an image now, right?
Image, no backlight.
All right. So what voltage do you get on backlight output? Let's start with that. You have to have the screen plugged in for this. I guess I'll read the backlight output since I have no way of... Your multimeter doesn't pipe over to this.
Will yours stretch over here?
I wonder if this would stretch over there. Aha! Barely. Let's see what voltage we get on backlight out. Let's see if that's actually connected. Huh. My program disappeared.
I don't even have this board view loaded.
Oh well, no luck with the multimeter on the screen. Jessa says I had to teach ISL circuit today. Well, did you? Alright, so I'll have to read voltages because the multimeter on screen doesn't want to work. That's what you get for what I paid for that thing. So. You have it's closed though, right?
Well, nothing's connected.
So you get 0 volts. Alright, so let's go over one of the most common things that's been happening with these that I haven't gone over in any other videos. So we're going to go over to the backlight driver circuit over here. Let's find the backlight driver circuit. And... Alright, so this actually is going to talk to the screen. So over here you'll see that there's an SDA and SCL. This is an SM bus line where the LED driver is going to come down here and go through these 2 resistors, And then there's going to be a pull-up resistor. This is going to be a 5-volt data line. This is going to be a 5-volt data line pulled up by R7752 and R7753. And that says it turns into I2C backlight SCL and I2C backlight SDA. And that heads over to the screen itself, and that shows up on pins 3 and 4 of the LCD connector. So what do you get if you measure voltage on pins 3 and 4 of the LCD connector? I wonder if I unplugged this USB thing, and if that's why I'm not getting my multimeter. Did I kick this out? No, you're plugged in. It's not working because you're a cheap piece of shit.
Is this on?
Talks to the screen. Jess, I'm not taking that phone that you worked on yesterday. No way, no how. Let's see. Fuck it. I'll figure out the multimeter later. Yeah, no hope for that. All right. So I'll just read out voltages. So what do you get on pin 3? And then what do you get on pin 4? Your thoughts on repair places like Geek Squad or Office Depot's equivalent? They're garbage.
4.8 on pin 3.
So 4.8 on pin 3, which is going to be I2C backlight SCL. That's the clock line. What do you get on pin 4 for data?
0.7.
So you get 0.762. All right. Now, let's go back over to where that line comes from. So that's going to I2C backlight SDA, which is 0.2, is going to come from right by the LED driver where I showed you before. And that's supposed to be pulled up by R7753 to 5 volts, and then it's supposed to go into the LED driver. So the screen can talk to the LED driver on this data line. So find R7753 and R7751. R7753. Oh. Go R7753. R7751. And we find these two resistors right by the LED driver. R7753 is going to be the pull-up resistor, and R7751 is going to be the fuse, if you want to call it that. What about them as garbage? Everything. It's like going to McDonald's for, it's just junk. Lowest common denominator, franchised shit. Jessa, did you use my sheet to teach the ISL circuit? I have it fully documented, literally down to not only just what each signal does, but the sequence of it and everything. It's just amazing. And I've updated the sheet since I sent you my copy. All right. Microscope is using the Jessa mount, so it's constantly out of focus.
Is it? Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that thing's a piece of shit.
Okay.
All right, so see, what voltage do we get on pin 2 of R7753?
Oh, jeez, I gotta connect it back in this
You gotta connect
case.
the screen back again, of course.
Geez.
It's Paul, a new employee, yes.
That's not backlight driver.
All right. Find him?
I believe I'm there.
Hello to T-Rose and Tarman. I just fixed the 2012 MacBook Pro no backlight. Thanks, Lewis. Well, hopefully you'll be able to do that for 2013 through 15 after this as well, since this is a very common issue. Razor says McDonald's hamburgers are vegan, though. They only have trace amounts of what could potentially be considered meat, but the sample size from an average meal from them is too small to be 100% sure. I've always thought that if veganism was actually going to catch on as a thing, it would catch on at places like McDonald's and Burger King, where the amount of meat you're actually being fed is so small anyway. Think about it. You don't go into McDonald's or Burger King and ask for, pastrami on rye. You ask for a Happy Meal, a quarter pounder. A quarter pound of what? A happy, happy is what? Happy, pastrami is objective. Happy is subjective. So you never, okay, so what do we get on R7753?
5 volts.
5 volts. All right, so let's go through this on the schematic. So at the on the LCD connector on pin 4, we're getting 0.2 volts. But then when we fast forward over to where this is actually being created at the LED driver by this pull-up resistor, we get 5 volts. So let's see if can anybody in the chat guess what's causing the voltage drop at the LCD connector on this data line? Geek Squad is like Jiffy Lube, overpriced for basic maintenance anyone can do. Yep. All right, since nobody is watching and nobody is commenting, since we have a 1/10 the watchers that we did just this time streaming 2 months ago, I will answer it for you. So the issue here, you want to explain it, Paul? Yeah,
Put me on the spot, huh?
Yeah, what the hell? It's no fun if I do everything.
I don't even know where we are. Where are we?
Right by this right by the data line on this is by the LED driver. So over here we get 5 volts, and by the LCD connector on that same data line we get 0.2 volts. What's broken?
It's got to be the line.
And don't read anything in that window over there. They're just fucking with you. Yeah, it's the line. So the line that sits between here. So we can do this on the board view and move this around. The line that sits between here and the other side of the board is broken. So now I'm kind of curious, what do you get over here? Because that would be a much shorter wire to run. So if you could run the wire from here to the LCD connector, that's a lot better than having to run it from here to the LCD connector. The squiggly line is broken. It is the squiggly line. I'd also like to thank YouTube very much for sending out the notification of this stream to 1/10 the amount of people that they used to. Jessica was streaming yesterday, and Mark messaged me to ask about something that I was talking about on Hangouts, and I had no idea Jessica was streaming because I didn't get a notification, even though I have the little bell click that says get all notifications, not some. Yeah, we usually have 800 to 1,600 viewers, and we have like 100 something today.
There's 5 volts there.
That's Eli numbers. Yeah, we have Eli numbers.
Oh, no.
Oh, fuck. Anyway.
It's time to start filming ducks.
All right, so what we have to do, so essentially the line between here and here is not broken, but the line between here and the LCD connector is broken. So Paul is going to have to run a wire between C8358 and pin 4 of the LCD connector. So C8358. So between C8358, which is going to be this little cap over here, and the LCD connector. So technically, if you want to look at it on the schematic, the line between this little bullet point and this has been destroyed. Didn't get notified, but stumbled across the stream when I refreshed my subscription list. Deacon says, I didn't get the notification either, saw it while scrolling through the homepage. And people wonder why creators are not putting time or effort into YouTube anymore. Yeah. Yeah. Didn't know you were streaming, only saw it by accident. I usually get notifications without bell. I just pressed it now because that's some bullshit. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, this is... Now, does anything look bad over there? Anything look nasty, or just... Looks fine to me. I mean, look, I mean, it's filled with flux and other crap, but still, I mean, it's not like I see anything broken. So it's interesting, because I can't see anything physically broken, but it is clearly broken. It measures broken. I said your name right. I said it the same way that Steely Dan would say it on Asia. Call me Deacon Blues. I can't sing. I'm kind of sad that Walter Becker died. Did you like Steely Dan?
I never listened to him.
You're fired.
Oh no. It's the second time today.
Paul, unlike me, cares that things are clean. Look at this. Alcohol, Q-tips. I wish I had the other camera working so you could see the desk. Oh, man. Let's see, what was that?
My desk is a mess. I've been working all day.
Love your videos. I'm trying to fix a Toshiba T3100 SX from 1988 right now. What? Why? Why are you torturing yourself with that piece of shit? Why? That's insane, man. Throw that shit in the garbage. Throw that in the trash can. Couldn't tell out of focus. Yeah. Yeah. That mount, the new mount that we have constantly goes out of focus. I have to ask Paul Daniels which mount to get. I just subscribed to your channel last night. Needless to say, I'll be buying an original MacBook adapter for replacement. Can you make that focus? You have to. It's this thingy. You have to like untie that thingy, and it's such a pain in the ass. There we go. That's much better. What's your opinion on the MacBook A1181? That is a pile of shit. Fluorescent backlit screen, inverter wire that dies, inverter that dies, screen that dies. Almost every single one of them should have a dead motherboard, dead battery by now, and definitely a dead screen backlight. I would say that the A1181 is worth about $10. Scroll. Lewis, what do you think of the Weinstein case? I think he's a sleazebag. I think there's a good chance he probably did most of the stuff they're talking about. I think it's really lame that a lot of people knew about it for a really long time, who had a lot of money and a lot of power and a lot of influence and a big fan base, and didn't really say anything about it, allowing more and more people to get fucked by that dude. That really sucks, but I kind of think Hollywood in general sucks. Can you kick on the airflow?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for the short period of time that I worked in the real entertainment business, it was all essentially a fucking cesspool. And, yeah, I'm not surprised. And you know what's really sad? What's really sad is I'm not surprised at the amount of people that had money, power, fame, millions of fans that just... I'd say... Be a part of the change you want to see in the world, is what I'd say. Be a part of the change that you want to see in the world. It's that same thing I keep repeating in every video. Rest in peace, Walter. Long live Donald. Yep. YouTube adds a subscribe button so people can get notified when their favorite channels post something. Then YouTube breaks the subscribe button and adds a notification button to do the same job. Oh, but that's okay because Susan whatever started her own YouTube channel. I'm confident that'll change everything. Damn, this is as blurry as Jess's stream. Paul, somebody called you as blurry as Jess.
Them's fighting words.
That's fighting words. That's as insulting as it gets. That's like just taking a cold fish and slapping you in the face. Hello from Denmark.
Is it still blurry?
Hmm?
Is it still blurry there?
No, it's better now.
Okay.
That's a cold fish slapped right across the face. When can we see a crest teardown and frequency analysis on the scope? I don't know. I'm debating whether or not to do that. But I did the Lenovo ThinkPad teardown, right? And I also did the spill test. And now it randomly freezes. Now, granted, I did spill like, about a quart of water on this. So this machine is about $1,200. The review video made $40. And now this thing is essentially freezes every now and then pile of shit. So, we'll see. We'll see. If I have a broken crest at any given time that I can open up, I'll be happy to, but yeah. Does Susan have a positive ratio like-dislike? Fuck no. Mostly disliked, because she's ignoring all the ridiculously large issues right now to create a channel, which is not what you want your fucking CEO to be doing. It's so useless. Like, imagine you're the CEO of a yacht company, and you figure out that all of the yachts that you've been creating have this thing where they develop a hole anytime a fish rubs against the hull or something like that. And rather than address that, you decide to have a yacht party and say, look, we make yachts. What do you think of the way that I'm driving my yacht? While completely ignoring the fact that the other thousands of people with your yachts have them drowning into the sea. It's like, that's not what you're fucking here for. Your unboxing was awesome. Loved your instruction treatment. Yeah. You can see I got the quick on my desk now. Weller has been demoted. See? Weller is gonna be. I have the JBC that I got from there. A little overpriced, but you know, is what it is. Jessa sold me the JBC. It was. So I have the JBC over there. I'm gonna have the quick over here, and the Weller's gonna be on the third station that I put together. So you can stop playing rock paper scissors to see who works while there's teaching and there's two people here.
Okay. Wires run.
It did more than what he was there talking about. It's called the casting couch. Where have you been? I don't think I ever said that the casting couch didn't exist. Where have you been? Why don't you use wire wrap? Because I don't know what that is. You still think that Surface tablets aren't real? I don't think Surface tablets are real. I believe in Surface tablets as much as Alex Jones believes in Sandy Hook. Let's see. What solution do you make for ultrasonic? Distilled water plus isopropyl alcohol. I use a gallon of distilled water to 103 milliliters of Branson EC. Do we have a wire?
We have a wire.
Do we have a fire?
Possibly.
Well, we haven't plugged it in yet. Oh boy. And you can see it under the microscope too, so if it goes on fire, it'll be easy. What happened to Jason? He's right there. He's in the other room. Actually, we have to. How am I going to show the camera from there? They're not going to believe us.
We have backlight.
That measure?
Not gonna believe we have backlight?
No, not with especially with the multimeter cable broken. Actually, here I saw what happened. The cable that attaches it broke. Wait, let's see. Light.
Ooh.
Really? Really?
Nothing bad ever happens on live stream.
Nothing
Yeah.
bad ever happens on live stream. So let's just go over this one more time for the people who are watching who want to know what this is. So I'll make the TLDR for you. The TLDR is that a very common issue. TLDR is a very common issue on this machine. Let me just turn off that camera. How do you like this chair in comparison to the Aeron? I actually like the cheap chair. The thing is, it starts squeaking much quicker than the Aeron, but I'm sure you could fix that with some WD-40. Alright, so let's zoom in here. So this is the backlight circuit. This is the backlight circuit. This is the LED driver. This is the output, standard boost circuit. This is the coil. This is the switcher. So that's going to be what switches it to ground to boost the voltage. That's the diode that's going to make sure that only the boosted voltage is on the other side. And Q7700 very often won't be opening. So you'll have 12 volts on input and 0 on output, and the gate won't be lower than the source because the LED driver is not doing its job. The reason that happens very often is because the data line between the LED driver and the LCD is broken, typically right over here. So at I2C backlight SDA, for some reason that always blows rather than SCL, I2C backlight SDA will blow between here and the LCD connector at pin 4. And a nice fix for that is to run a wire, if that's the case, between pin 4 of the LCD connector and the cap on the other side. And the way you can test for this is on this data line. You'll see PP5ESO sits between the resistor and the data line, so it should be a 5-volt data line. So on pins 3 and 4, you should be getting 5 volts or 4.7 volts or something like that, switching up and down. So if you see anything drastically lower than that, you'll know that it's broken. So that's it for today, and as always, I hope that you learned something. Now we'll read your silly comments until it's time to go. Let's see. Is it for sale? I'll buy the Weller. Hell no, that's station number 3. WD-40 is the best tool on earth. I agree.
Aside from duct tape.
I can't understand. Where are you from? Is it a language barrier thing, or is it a... No, a lot of people have asked if I could do subtitles or something like that. Or if I could do this in other languages, but I don't... No idea. Is it stuck and not supposed to be? Alright, well, Paul's first repair on camera, and it clearly worked. Alright, so we're done. You want to plug your YouTube channel?
my 4-video YouTube channel? Sure.
Yeah, why not?
Hey, you can't find me. There's too many Paul S's on YouTube.
So Paul Daniels got found over the Medition. You know how many Meditions show up before I can find Paul Daniels' YouTube channel?
Then you found it?
It takes me work. I have to search for I have to find a video that he's commented on, then click on his name to find it.
If you look up the Microsoft band, I have a teardown video. I'm one of the very few people that ever... I'm a Microsoft fanboy, I guess you could call me.
Did you sell Quick to Jessa already? No, but Quick finally decided to send Jessa her order, even though she placed her order about 3 to 4 months before me. That's what we call privilege. Alright, so time to get out of here. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something.